Hey everyone, John Shea here. Today on the show, I've actually got someone by the name of Ryan Seamy. He's on the show today to talk a little bit about Amazon. I know that I actually haven't published a podcast episode in a few weeks now. Basically, I decided to have Ryan come on because he's actually talking a lot about Amazon, and this is a big focus of what he's working on, and that's something that I've also been doing recently with my own e-commerce site. So I'm actually pretty excited to hear what Ryan has to talk about today. I guess if you want to start out, Ryan, maybe give us a little bit of your background and just how you got kind of started with selling on Amazon and where you really started out online.
Okay. Well, my name is Ryan Seamy, and I started out in business about shortly after the turn of the century, and I was a financial advisor for about a decade, and really enjoyed that work. Enjoyed physical, face-to-face selling with people, and all of the technical aspects of it I really enjoyed. But I got to a point where I realized that no matter what, I was only ever going to be self-employed, and every day that I woke up, I still had to go out and hunt for new business, look for new opportunities. And so I really wanted to transition into something where it was a true business, where we could develop a core business, outsource as much of it as possible, and keep. So the fun part for me was looking for new opportunities, new developing products, and then outsource the back office. Um, about a year ago, I came across Amazon and different ways to do it. I was kind of propped up for it because when I was in graduate school, one of my classmates actually works as a manager at Amazon. So a lot of his um, we do case study after case study in business school, and almost all of his case studies were on Amazon, what the culture was, what their vision was, where they were looking to go. And it kind of got hammered into me that they were always looking for small business owners to partner with to bring their products to their market and also to launch there. And it was kind of in its infancy a couple of years ago, and then they developed Fulfilled by Amazon, and that's been a huge bonus. Amazon basically has already collected this huge market of people. They've already got all their credit card information. It's so simplified now that they can click one time and purchase items. And if you have a Fulfilled by Amazon account, it's going to be direct shipped out to your clients. You never have to worry about the back office. So you can really do a lot of brand creation and focus on your business and growing your business. So that's how we got involved with it. As we were developing our first product and building our brand, we had gone through all the process of sourcing from China, dealing with multiple suppliers, hammering out your quality control issues, having samples sent back and forth between two continents, and then dealing with all the logistics of having things shipped internationally. And that's a pretty lengthy process. And while we were doing that, my background kind of being both in finance and then as I was finishing up my finance business, I also became involved with the universities and started working at colleges. So I taught a lot at the graduate level and also have been doing a lot of workforce and consulting at the workforce level. And we looked to play to our strengths. My business partner, on the other hand, has got a lot of online internet marketing. He's building funnels, setting up web pages, opt-in pages, all of those things. And his business has primarily been designed around marketing to brick and mortar up to Fortune 500 companies, helping develop online sales funnels for them. So we're sitting here waiting for our shipments to come in. We started playing with our strengths and kind of coming with ideas, and we thought, okay, well, we want to launch our product. How do we really want to do this? So we tore into every bit of information we could find about the Amazon algorithm and how to get your product up on page one. How to do that on Amazon SEO. And it really kind of came down to a couple key things. One was seller reviews. That seemed to be one of the big things. You don't really see it. That's not the product reviews when you see it on a listing. Those are the reviews that are kind of back behind the scenes, and they get ignored a lot of the times. So how do we foster getting a lot of those? The second would be the product review. That really has to do with more of the social proof and marketing side than it does with the getting on page one on Amazon. The third is keyword and copywriting on your actual listing and how to optimize that. So we were optimizing all those things and getting things figured out, and I relied back on my training experience. I thought, well, wouldn't it be great, instead of just going out to the internet now and offering a whole bunch of dollar coupons to drive some really inexpensive sales, and basically at a loss for us, what if we could get the best bang for our buck for giving that great deal? What if we could collect a group of people who we trained beforehand how to give reviews. And kind of in the process of getting our business up and going, we kind of we were fortunate enough to join into a tribe of people who were doing the same thing. And it became kind of its own mastermind. So everybody that's familiar with internet marketing is going to understand that, the value of having a bunch of people that are kind of in the same boat.
Sure.
And it was pretty common for us to go back and forth and, offer each other reviews and do those things. And it kind of hit me, we never give each other a 2-star review or a 3-star review. We're always like 4 or 5 stars. And if there's ever an issue, we'll contact the other seller directly and say, hey, this could use some tweaking, or this could, you fix this, or you might word this email differently. So this really kind of supportive and a consultative environment flourished. And I thought, what if we could bring in a bunch of reviewers who, as they came in, great, yeah, I'm going to get something for a very inexpensive price, but in that process we could introduce customers, let them get a sense for the fact that these are people just like them. They're trying to take their crack at the American dream, and here's some really cool products that they're looking to sell. And almost all these brands are designed to be a premium brand. It's not your $1.99 closeout stuff. This is high-end stuff.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, I've listened to several podcasts and things like that where people have talked about private labeling a little bit, and as well as sort of retail arbitrage. I don't know if you would be willing to share like kind of the niche that you've dived into and that you've sort of started with as your brand.
Okay. Well, for us, there's nothing wrong with arbitrage, but it's hunting versus farming. And if you're in arbitrage, there's a lot of money to be made there. There really is, especially as we go into the holiday season. But the problem is you're oftentimes selling someone else's brand, so you're competing for that buy box. And there's there could be product after product of information out there on how to compete for buy box. I like the white labeling and the brand creation because it's my own buy box. And as long as I'm the only seller on Amazon, I control my own destiny. And that's what I'm really looking for. So that's kind of where we're at. Our niche, we're in the bath and beauty. And as we build the brand, we'll probably leg over into the health and beauty products and get into consumables.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've seen just firsthand from my own experience. I'd actually, I worked a full-time job last March that I started with a company where essentially, my boss, he invented an idea. It was basically a winter mitten for kids that he just added a sleeve on the end. It's like such a simple concept, but no one was doing it, and he got it copyrighted. Or what's the word? Patented. That's what I'm like. He got it patented, so no one else could take that design. I mean, I think he had problems at one point with like Walmart doing something similar, but he essentially had that patented, and he was able to revise the product a few times through manufacturing and private labeling and get it branded as his own and have like full control of that. And now he like runs, literally he's making like all of his money off of one product on Amazon. I think from like last November 1st to December 31st, he was able to make, I think it was like something like over 300,000 gross from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was insane, just how much and how well he was able to do with, this product, because it really took off. And he ended up getting all those reviews. He was up over 400 reviews last I checked, and it just literally blows the competition out of the water. Like it's the obvious no-brainer choice if that's what you're looking for in that niche.
And the product is important, very much. But even more important than that is the relationship you build with customers. And if you can control that from the get-go, and I'm sure with him being a small business owner with one product, that was probably, I would bet, he's doing so well, is that he had the back end set up to make sure that the customers were taken care of the right way. FBA helps a lot with that with logistics, but being able to make sure that you contact your customers, develop an email list with them, and let them know when you're bringing new things to market. That's huge. You control your own destiny, and that second launch is it's exponentially larger than the first.
Sure. So on that note, I guess I thought I'd ask. I mean, I know Amazon has some like policies and sort of regulations that, in the most basic sense, they don't want like circumvention. They don't really want you to put something in the box that's trying to get the customer, to go to your website, go to the seller's website. I mean, how are you kind of handling that, like with your products?
Well, the process that we use, and this is above board with Amazon, and we're also trying to build our reviews launch pad that it's going to be above board. I always step back from the standpoint and go, if I'm in their shoes, what do I want? I want people that are true business owners that care about their business and are building it the right way and are not taking away from Amazon. And so everything that we do seeks to serve that. With Amazon, we don't call them right off the bat and try and get our customers that purchased from the product of Amazon onto a mailing list. What we do is we follow up immediately and say that here's a digital bonus. We're big on bonuses. And here's a couple of different unique ways that you use the product, a couple of different ideas. We'll also be following up with you, if so, just to make sure that you've received it. And we highlight the fact that this is fulfilled by Amazon. It should be super fast, but because that whole shipping process is outside our hands, we don't have any control. We want to take that extra step and make sure that our customers got their product. And at the end of that, we wait until about 2 weeks for Amazon to make sure that the shipment's out. We'll contact our clients, and we do it by phone. The big bang there is, when was the last time that you had the CEO of a company contact you for a $20 purchase? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, our customers have received it, and the thing is, the true value, it's not that we're going to get, we want to get them on an email list and we want to build a relationship with them, but the true value there is, I can contact them directly and say, how did you like the product? Was it what you expected? What could be improved? How could we do a better job? And I get all that feedback from them, and I make notes on it, and I say, thanks for sharing all that. I then ask them if they would be interested in joining our VIP program. And if they come into our VIP program as we're developing new projects, excuse me, too many P's in one sentence. As we're developing those new products to come to market, our VIPs are going to evaluate, and they'll get free samples, they'll get all that stuff as we're going through the evaluation process. And I'll send them a link to do that. That's when we get them to opt into our email. And so it's totally their choice to opt in with us. And it's so that they get additional benefits in the future. We also, if they're willing to give us that feedback on the phone, I'll usually just go ahead and type up that stuff and say, hey, would you mind if I email those comments to you? Would you mind leaving us a review? And I'll leave the link for the seller review and for the product review based on what their feedback was. I'm not putting words in their mouth, I'm just transcribing it for them, making it as simple as possible.
Right.
And then it goes out to them. As we're working with our fellow entrepreneurs, the people that we found to be the most successful, these are the processes that they've put in place. So it's having that follow-up. Now, you can do it as the CEO and the owner in the early days, but there comes a point, when you're selling 200 to 2,000 units a day, you have to start outsourcing that. But I would advise anybody who's looking to build a brand on Amazon to do it themselves first so that they understand the process, and you can really meticulously train the people you hire to do that for you later.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're sort of approaching it with a less, it's not really like super intrusive,
No, and we really follow the idea that, if you want to get something, you have to give something first. And if we're giving really good customer support right off the bat, that usually catches people by surprise. And then second, we're offering you a discount coupon and a VIP access, at no additional cost. People are really impressed with that, and many will take you up on it. And then after that, that's when we ask them to go leave a review. So it's one of those things that we've already kind of hooked them up with several different things, and people at that point, they're very happy to go leave us a review.
Sure. Now, in regards to reviews, I know you mentioned, obviously, let's say, in my case, I just opened an Amazon account a few weeks ago. I'm just starting to get my products out there, some stuff that's going to be unique, like brand new. No one else is selling it. If I want to get some reviews on this product, you mentioned you're in groups with other people who are willing to leave their reviews. I know that Amazon is also obviously they're not super fond of, they don't want a bunch of fake reviews. If I go on Fiverr and start, hiring people for $5 to go leave a review, they're probably not going to be too kosher with that. But I'm sure there's ways of kind of doing this in such a way that it's not going to come across like a problem. How do you kind of handle that with the methods you're using now?
Well, and it's pretty clear because, a lot of the people that are coming into this are coming from the internet marketing space.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that everybody there's black hat, but there's enough black hat stuff going on that I think it created an environment where people are always looking for a quick hack. What's the quickest way to do this? Can I type some code? Can I get it done? Instead of just looking at it from what's the best way for me to build a business and what's the best way to build a solid brand. And it takes, our method takes a little bit longer, but I think it bears a lot more fruit. I think the reason why Amazon's not ever going to have a problem with what we're doing is because it's best for the customer. And we're not taking anything away from Amazon. We're not taking them off Amazon to go sell our products on our web page necessarily. We're always going to be launching products on Amazon. We like to have them do our back office, so we're always sending stuff through FBA. So it's not taking away from Amazon at all. And as we bring on our reviewers, one thing is there's two sides of this business. One is the reviewer base, and right now we have about 50 local reviewers. We have about another 100 that are dispersed throughout the country, and we're probably going to grow that up to about 500 in the next 6 months. But we're keeping it relatively small because we want them to be trained to be quality reviewers. And what I mean by quality reviewers is you can't launch with us and we're not guaranteeing you 5-star reviews. If your product stinks or your follow-up stinks, you're going to find out pretty quick. What I mean by a quality review is you're not going to get a 3-star review that says it was okay. You're going to get a 3-star review that really talks about what was good about it, what was bad about it, what could be improved. And generally our reviewers, we're training them so that if there's an issue with either the business processes and the follow-up or the quality on the product, they're going to contact you first and talk about, maybe the handle on something came off and I got a defective product, or maybe this is more a design flaw that I don't like about your product and needs to be improved the second time. As opposed to just ripping off a 1-star review, we're guiding them to give the business owner the opportunity to make it right first. If there's a true design problem, yeah, put that on the product review. But if it was just, I got a defective product, let the business owner send you a free one and make it right first. And then write the review and say, the first one I got was defective, but the business owner was awesome about it. They sent me a second one I didn't even ask for it. They said they were already giving me credit and sending it out. That's just good customer service. And I think those are the things that Amazon would benefit from. So that's why I think we're above board.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it sounds like you've sort of covered all bases here with everything that, and that's obviously that when it comes to customer service and defective products, that's just kind of a given in the industry.
I mean, let's be honest. Some of the products will be sourced domestically, but a lot of them are going to be sourced internationally. And when you're talking about ordering in 10,000 units at a time, you're even with a 1 or 2% defect rate, which is going to happen, you're going to have some returns. And the truly great companies are judged on what they do when that happens. Do you just say, well, screw it? Or do you say, no, I really care, I want to take this bad experience and prove to you that we really care, so that the next time we have a product come out, I'm going to make sure that you're the first on the list to try it out. You win over people that way. And that's how you go, that's how you become Apple or Harley Davidson or any of these big brands. I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek, and I like his concept of marketing. If you haven't seen Golden Circle of marketing, go Google it, look it up on YouTube, spend 5 minutes. That's probably one of the best videos on marketing in the 21st century that I've ever seen. And I'm going to paraphrase it quickly, and I hope to not ruin it too much, but basically what he says is you have the traditional computer model where they come out and they say, our computers have great displays, we've got this much RAM, we've got this much gig, and it's this price, would you like to buy one? Oh, okay. And that's how most digital devices are sold. You cross over and look at Apple, and Apple comes at it from the standpoint that we're different. We view the world differently. We're misfits. Everything that we do in the effort to challenge the status quo and to push the evolution. We happen to make digital products. We challenge the status quo by making them incredibly user-friendly, beautiful, and attractive. Would you like to buy one? Just in me telling that story, I had a different emotional reaction telling the Apple story than I do every other tech company. That's why you see tattoos of Apple on people and Harley Davidson. We buy emotionally and we justify logically, and these emotional parts are actually the oldest parts of our brain. And if you're trying to sell and build a relationship, and you're trying to do it with words, and you're not trying to key in on people's emotions, you're missing the point. And that's really kind of where we come at. That's why we want to really treat our customers well. And here's the deal: where else in the world are you going to routinely get a $20 to $40 item, and the CEO of the company is likely to give you a call to make sure you liked it? You know, it doesn't happen very often from the big box stores, but from us, from our entrepreneurs, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they really care. And that's the other thing about our Launchpad that we want to make. It's going to be a little bit unique, and that's really what's going to take it to the next level. Is there's solo ads and places out there where you can put coupons. What we want to do is create an environment and a tribe of people that have an understanding that they'll come in because I want to get a $1 coupon, but they're going to stay because every week there's going to be a series of videos, much like this is, introducing new entrepreneurs, why they got into the business, why they care about their products, why they care about their customers, what's important to them, and it lets the reviewers connect with the entrepreneur at that emotional level first, and understand that these entrepreneurs are just like me. They're just trying to get their own chance at the American dream, and then we tell them about the product. So there's really no product conversation up front. They'll be short little videos, but it gives the entrepreneur a platform to really kind of get out there, connect with the marketplace, and then have the marketplace respond.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds like, I know, obviously we haven't mentioned it, but I know you talked about when we spoke through email that you and your partner are kind of like working on a program or a course to sort of put all this knowledge together somewhere that people can learn and apply these skills to an Amazon. If they wanted to start out on Amazon, start selling on Amazon, they could basically learn from you and apply those skills and take off with their own brand or business. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, we've got access to several different resources that are really, there's a couple resources out there that are better than anything else we've ever come across. And we're actually affiliates for that. We'd be very happy for anybody who wants to come in and learn about it. They're about to do another product launch, and to be honest, I've met a couple people that just watched the launch videos and learned enough to start a business on Amazon, so that the next time that it opened up, this product's only open for a short window. They had to wait 6 months or 12 months. The next time it opened up, they had made enough money on Amazon to purchase the product and take it to the next level. The training is excellent. The largest benefit of that affiliate program that we're going to be launching here shortly is really the opportunity to interact with other people and go to a live event where you can partner with other people. That's how my partner Nate and I met, was actually at a live event in Las Vegas here a couple months ago. And being able to sit down and have that quintessential bar napkin moment and start plotting out things and discussing and moving on, that was without a doubt the most valuable part about it. The training that we're going to be launching is not for everyone. It's not an inexpensive training. Sticker price on it is between $3,500 and $4,000. The thing I like about the product is, and again, this isn't our product, it's an affiliate, but the thing I like about it is there is a bit of exclusivity to it. This isn't a $99.99 get rich quick on the internet kind of project. This is a well thought out academy that really steps you through it and gives you a forum where you can interact with other people that are doing the same thing. It's definitely the best Amazon training I've found, and I've done a couple of them, and this is the one we chose to represent. But we use that as our basis, and our goal going through this as we do this next launch is that we'll do the launch, and our bonus is going to be the best bonus that any other affiliate's going to have with it, because everybody else will be giving out an iPad. We're going to give out a Launchpad. So in the training, you're going to learn how to build your own brand, source, get listed on Amazon, how to be super competitive, more competitive than about 90% of the sellers on Amazon are competitive right now. It's the wild, wild west. And this will give you all of the fundamental skills. And then we can partner, all of the people that join under our affiliate link are going to be able to go on and do a launch with us free of charge. So, we're still in the beta. We're finishing up the beta testing with our Launchpad, but we've already had great successes, and we know that it's going to work. This is going to be a huge advantage, because the hardest part about getting an Amazon business up and running is launching. Launching, making sure you have your inventory right, making sure your branding's correct, getting enough volume there. It's not too terribly hard to spike and to get up on that front page. It's a challenge to stay there over time, and that's where our secondary business really comes in.
Cool. If I were to take a wild guess, it sounds like the Amazing Selling Machine. If I were
Yeah,
to,
that would be it.
yeah,
And Nate and I are both graduates of it, and it, I've been through a lot of trainings, and I mean I've got a master's degree in business. I've spent a lot of money for formal education and also these other trainings. If I were to compare it, now there's a lot of value in my MBA. I'm not knocking that, but I got my MBA knowing I was an entrepreneur and not looking to go into um, work on Wall Street necessarily.
sure.
But when it comes down to the brass tacks of how to actually get something up and running and get out there and get going and how to be a business person, the Amazing Selling Machine, hands down, was far more immediately valuable than my master's degree was, and it was a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is kind of interesting to, people sort of in the internet marketing world. It's kind of funny because people are paying $300, $500. That's kind of the same as almost like going and taking a regular college class. Let alone the tuition for a full-on semester.
And depending on where you're at in college, I mean, depending on the college, that cost varies greatly. And what I
Yeah,
found is a lot of the time when you're taking college classes, again, I still work with college, but I'm a huge fan of them. I'm not knocking them, but you get people who are academics about business. It's not too often that you have a business instructor who is a business owner. And what Matt and Jason have built with the Amazing Selling Machine and the Amazing Academy, you're surrounded not only by them, but a whole other cohort of business owners. Everybody's doing this same business. And that's the other thing I liked about it is, so many internet marketing trainings, they're pitch fests. You get in with this, and then there's this upsell, and then there's this upsell, and then there's this upsell. That's not how ASM is at all. They're very much, here's the product, here's to go through. Every once in a while, there'll be something else, maybe a training on how to do some, say, Facebook ads or something that directly supports that, and they'll bring that to the community, but they are not constantly trying to sell you another widget. It is what it is. It's an upfront fee. It's not a continual fee. It's very straightforward. Their live events were world class, and they weren't trying to continually sell us new stuff the whole time. So for that, I respect them greatly. It was a top-notch. Experiences with it were great. And I would also say that I've been to a lot of masterminds and a lot of different things. This was unique. That price point was important because more and more, I met so many people that were there that were business consultants, that were accountants, that were already successful entrepreneurs. They were just looking for another stream of income or another way to where they could go from being self-employed to a true business owner. And at the last live event, the speakers were awesome and really spoke to that. But it was a different. The people that were attending had a different view of business. This wasn't a get quick so I can quit my job kind of thing. This was very much how do I build a long-term sustainable business, and the mindsets were different. Everybody was in it for the long play. Nobody's there looking for a quick hit. I think all the people that were looking for a quick hit had already gone someplace else. So that's what we liked about it.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I've checked out a lot of the material, and I mean, I have to agree with you. I was able to kind of get a glance of, we can chat after, but I was able to glance through some of like the 2013 material, I think, of that particular course. It's been a while since I looked at it, but it was good stuff. I know there's lots of pretty much kind of the whole overview, and they're really focused on the idea of specifically doing private labeling and kind of branding your own product and then focusing on that one product. And I thought that's interesting because I know there's a lot of talk right now about the whole retail arbitrage, and I mean the idea of it seems keen in my mind, but there's so many kind of risks with that, I feel like. And just like me or you, anyone could go to a Big Lots and start picking up stuff out of the clearance aisle, and I could be competing with 10 other people on the buy box just trying to win that. Whereas if I private label, I have complete control over it. Whether or not it's in someone else's hands is my choice.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see a lot of changes on Amazon in the next year. I would say this, for anybody who's really interested in following a business path like this, now is the time. Because I think Amazon's going to get more and more stringent about who they let because of the arbitrage issue. And a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the times, those things were in a clearance rack for a reason. They may have been damaged in some way or something along those lines. So I think they're really trying to move away from the arbitrage thing. nothing against the people that are doing that. There's a lot of money to be made there, but it's a shorter term, and the you know you're constantly going to have to be out there looking for those deals and resourcing those things. Whereas if you source one item, you have one, two, three items that you have supply lines with. You have a relationship with the manufacturers and the owners. Once you get it up and running and you know what your consistent numbers are, it's easy to manage. You're not constantly having to go out and do that. It really is, a Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week kind of business.
Mm. No, I don't know do you still have some time, or how are we doing for time on your end?
My assistant was just for the day, so.
Oh, so you got to wrap things up?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Oh, okay. I was going to ask, like, if you had any tips. Obviously, you've done this personally. I mean, I understand kind of the idea of it, but I haven't done it myself. Is just generally finding and sort of sourcing suppliers to make and manufacture products. I mean, do you have any tips kind of on that angle of, like, things maybe you ran into personally that, maybe you went through the ASM training and, you learn all these different things, but then maybe you're going through it and you're finding, like, oh man, I wish I did this differently, or I kind of screwed up here when I was doing this. Like, is there anything personally you've learned actually doing the process of going from, you find your supplier and then you figure out what you want to make and just everything to getting the actual product, into your hands to physically start having them produce in mass quantity?
It's kind of my business partner Nate and I kind of joke about the paradox, in that the training is comprehensive. It's everything that you need to do. Stuff. And they give it to you in very bite-sized chunks. They give you 1 week, to focus on it, worry about going on to the next thing, focus on this and get it done, accomplish it, and then they have some cool gamification in there where you apply for a badge every time, so that you can. It's kind of that for the big play. So you get those little wins along the way, and the paradox is that then you get, like, we've been through most of the training, and you're trying to make it harder than that natural inclination to kind of reinvent the wheel, and realistically over and over and over again from all the people who have been really successful at ASM, and that is just do what they train you to do. Just focus on that and do it. Every time you hear about somebody that had this big crazy thing happen to them, or they had this funky thing happen with supply, it's because they were trying to reinvent the wheel and do something different. They go back and watch that training module and go, oh yeah, duh, okay, I'll just do that this time, and all of a sudden it works out fine for them. I'm not saying that it's easy. There's setbacks along the way. I mean, you're dealing with suppliers from overseas, and there's a language barrier. You can overcome some of that with Skype, but it's not always the easiest. There are some tips and tricks that are in the training, but in short, if you just watch their launch videos, they cover just about everything that you were looking at right there.
Sure.
I think my main advice is to have your eyes wide open when you're doing a niche selection, when you're trying to select the niche that you're going into. And certain niches are great, and it's just like anything. The niches that have more money and have more volume are also much more competitive. Certain niches like supplements have, from my friends that sell in supplements, it's cutthroat. And there are a lot of people playing a lot of those black hat tricks and leaving false reviews and just games like that. Amazon's really starting to crack down on that stuff. So I think that those old black hat guys that are getting away with something today or maybe yesterday, they're not going to get away with it for much longer. But if you're going to go into that market, there's a lot of money to be made. But you better have your A game, and you better know what you're getting into. And the flip side of that is there's a lot of people that come in and they have this mentality of they're an employee mentality. They've worked at a place and I'm the person that does X. So they're looking at Amazon like, I need to be the only person that does this product. And that's not a good method too, because if there's nobody else selling it, it's because it's not selling. So find a niche where there is competition. But inside of ASM, it's really great because they give you specific things to look for in the competition that's on Amazon now, and how to beat it, how to be better than them, how to bring your A game, and how to step up in the rankings and how to move. And I think when it's partnered with our Launchpad, you're going to see people launch a lot faster. And this is going to be ASM 4. Just in the year since the first ASM came out, the learning curve, the training we got last time was head and shoulders better than ASM1, just because they learned so much. So that's the other benefit, is the people that are coming in now are going to get all of this experience that isn't just from Jason, the founders. It comes from all the other people that are in it in the forums. And that's where you'll, just watch the launch videos, and I guarantee you'll learn enough to start a business. But if you really want to do it and take it to the next level and have people around you to do it, buy the product.
Yeah, I mean, I think for anyone that's listening, obviously, if you're interested in sort of private labeling and making more of a, I guess really when I look at e-commerce as a whole, and like what I've really thought about lately is, you kind of look at internet marketing, and I see a lot of people that are doing things like launching products, and you could launch a product and you could make like thousands and thousands of dollars, but it isn't necessarily like a long-term thing. Whereas I feel like e-commerce, when I look at that, it's kind of a separate thing where you could turn that into a more long-term sustainable business. I've been even following a lot of people recently. It's sort of off topic, but I was running an SEO service for 3 months where we basically sold private blog network links, and we made a ton of money. In like 3 months we made over $20,000, and that was amazing for me, like as an internet marketer. But Google recently did an update about 2 weeks ago, and pretty much every niche site builder and all these people that were like using this method of SEO to boost their sites, I mean, they got tanked. Their sites got de-indexed and literally just turned around like overnight. And for me, I mean, it's kind of crazy to look at it and see that happened. I mean, but in a sense where I'm looking at it like, okay, I was making all this money, but literally it wasn't going to be a long-term business model, and I very well knew that. Mm-hmm. So doing something like sourcing your own product, and I mean, I kind of look at my old boss, like, with the mitten example, he was kind of like an entrepreneur, but he doesn't really have the sort of mindset like an internet marketer. He was never an internet marketer, so he doesn't understand anything about like list building or like social media, or like all that stuff was completely oblivious to him. He just had an idea, started launching a product, and basically did all the other stuff like what's part of ASM, finding this product that he could private label and working with manufacturers across the world in China, and he's now.
There's danger in that too when it's your own product, because you start having stuff manufactured in China and they make 3 for you and 1 for somebody else, and so that you have a patent, but now you have legal bills to enforce it, and there's other sides that you need to be aware of when you do it. And John, you really bring up an interesting point with Google, and I can't tell how many internet marketers are commiserating on the forums about the Penguin slap and all of the other updates. We use Amazon to launch our products because it's a perfect environment for that. But we have a longer-term play where we're looking past Amazon. We want to build a product base on Amazon. We always want to sell there, but we also want to get our physical products into physical stores at some point. And it's a Shark Tank idea. You look at the successful people that go into Shark Tank and they're launching something. When they ask them, what are your sales, they have an answer like that. And if you can come and say, we're doing $2 million a year in revenue on Amazon, you've got a buyer's attention. And so that's where we're looking at Amazon as a very unique part of our business process. We're going to launch there. We're going to develop and solidify a brand. We're going to get loyal customers, and then we're going to be able to branch that out and start going more into the retail space. So that helps us diversify, and that, again, that's the long-term plan. It's a long-term play so that it's not just a quick buck today.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us, Ryan. I thought this was really informative, and I know I didn't realize you were doing ASM, but it is. I've checked out a lot of their content, and it is good stuff. Obviously, like you said earlier, it is it's expensive. So anyone looking to dive into this business, I mean, you're literally, think of it as like maybe you have to loan out money to do this. I mean, you're basically starting up your own business. That's really what it is.
Mm-hmm. That being said, we're at a very unique time in history. I mean, first off, this was not possible 15 years ago, really. If you think about what you're doing, you're starting a business from. Look at what my partner Nate and I have done. We've started up a business where both owners are in 2 different cities. We've only met in person one time. We're able to start up an international importing and retail business for less than $5,000. All of our back office is going to be outsourced through Amazon, and we get to focus specifically on the things that generate the most value to an entrepreneur. I mean, it's a magical time, and the downside of that is that marketers ruin everything. And what you'll see is a lot of people coming in and trying to play games on Amazon, and Amazon's going to clamp down on them. And it's going to be a lot harder for people to get access to sell on Amazon in the future. So that's one of those things where if you're really at all interested in doing this, now's the time.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to join me today.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, too, we'll send you our links. We've got the Reviewed by You on Facebook page. That's where, if you're interested, anybody who's interested, you could do your holiday shopping for a couple bucks, because we're going to have those $1 deals from the entrepreneurs that are watching. Go check that page out on Facebook and sign up on our email list. Get on there, and we'll get you in and get you access to the training. And then anybody who's interested in selling with us, we have the Product Launchpad on Facebook as well. Those would be the two places to access us. And honestly, if anybody's interested in ASM, they can go ahead. I would say go ahead and sign up for our Reviewed by You email opt-in list. And we're going to send out some information to those folks on ASM. But I really think that we're going to have, hands down, the best bonus going this next time.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that definitely helps with these big launches. So I can include links in the text of the interview so people can check that out.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.